Hello guys and girls, my name is Tziatas. I'm the creator of Sparrow LEATHERCRAFT, and today we have kind of a big project. We're gonna make a backpack with a nice and minimal design and with lots of little useful features in it. So yeah, let's just get started. Alright, let's get started with an overview of what we need for today's project. Let's start with the hardware. We need a couple of these roller things, a couple of these just metal squares. We need 5 hooks, like this one, with a 30mm width here at the opening. And we need 4 of these D-rings, again with a 30mm wide opening. What we also can use optionally for extra closure is magnet snaps that I have here, and a couple of normal snaps, and also a little piece of zipper. And that's it for the hardware. Now for leather, we have quite a few pieces. We have the sides, which are the sides of the backpack, obviously. We have this optional piece, which is like a bottle holder on the side of the backpack. We have the back pocket where the zipper is going to be installed. We have the inside pocket, which is basically installed on the inside side of the bag of the outside pocket. We have the lid. You can see it from the trapezoidal shape here, which, yeah, is the lid. We have the back piece, which is this square piece here, on which this outside pocket with the zipper sits like that. And of course we have the front and bottom of the bag, which is this big piece, which sits something like this and is the visible part of the bag and, yeah, the bottom. Of course, for every backpack we need shoulder straps, we need the handle, we need the closer strap, and so on and so on. These all are visible on the pattern, but because they are all double layer, I have not cut them out one by one. What I will do is I have this 2 pretty long 6cm wide pieces of leather, which I'm gonna glue together, flesh side to flesh side, like that. And after I glue them together, I can then cut out the straps that I need. 2.5 centimeters width to every length that I need. But yeah, it's just much easier to glue 2 big pieces of leather like this together. Also, I'm making extra wide. Of course, every strap is 2.5 centimeters wide. But I made these pieces 6 centimeters wide so that I have some room for error. So yeah, now I'm just gonna glue these pieces together. And then I can cut out the straps and yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, I have my 2 strap pieces glued together. Now the next step is, of course, to cut off excess material like here at the corner and so on. Which, of course, is gonna happen. We're human, it's not gonna align 100%, so that's why we calculated it to be extra wide, or 1 centimeter wider than what we actually need. So yeah, we're gonna just cut off the excess, and then we can use a strap cutter like this to cut out straps exactly. Okay guys, now I have all of my strap pieces cut out. We have the shoulder straps, the long ones, which are double, both sides glued together like I showed before. We have the bases of the shoulder straps that are gonna hold these roller things for the length adjustment. These also are double-sided. And we have the handle, the top handle, like on the top of the bag, which is also double-sided. Then we have the closer strap, which is for closing the bag, which is gonna be stitched on top of the lid of the bag. We have a variety of tabs, 5 of them, which are also single layer. Now the next step is to mark all the holes according to the pattern, like where are the rivet holes and so on and so on, the stitch holes. You can either do that by following the holes on the pattern, or you can do it like I do, using a wing divider and just tracing around the edge, punching all the holes, beveling the edges, rounding these corners on these smaller tabs and on the longer tabs, and so on and so on, and generally just make the straps look nice. This takes a while, especially hand stitching these big straps takes a while, but yeah, it's what we have to do in order to get like a really awesome product. So yeah, I'm just gonna get started, show you some glimpses of that. I don't think you wanna be here watching 1 hour of me trying to finish these things. So yeah, let's just get going with this. Okay, we have all of our straps ready for stitching, all the stitching holes and the rivet holes and so on punched out. So yeah, let's just start stitching them together, and then we can bevel the edges and give them a nice finish. Okay guys, we have all of our straps ready now. We have the bases of the shoulder straps, the bottom bases. We have the shoulder straps, of course, with the top handle, the closer strap, and all of the tabs for the key fob, for the D-rings, for the closure D-rings, and so on and so on. Everything stitched together, beveled, slicked, and so on. Okay, now the next step, of course, is to start working on the main pieces of the bag. So we're just gonna take our pattern pieces, like for the lid for example, and we're gonna mark all of the rivet holes and so on. you know, I have a video on which I show you how to use my patterns exactly and how to mark everything and so on. But yeah, just gonna make a quick montage of it. Okay, the way I do it usually is I don't like sticking the pattern to the leather. What I do is I mark like the start and the end of each stitching line, and then I just use my ruler and my scratch awl to mark the stitching line and then punch the holes using this hole punch here. You can do it either way, just like I showed in my other video. Either just glue the pattern on and punch each hole using the pattern, or use a ruler, mark the first hole, the last hole, and connect the lines. Okay, now a quick parenthesis. Here on the front, on the big part, on the pattern on the top, you will see two marks for the magnet snaps and a line which says roll top. What we're gonna do here is I marked the roll top line here on the back of the leather. What we need to do is to skive this part of the leather. Of course, this depends on your leather, but usually you will need to do this, to skive this line so it gets thinner, so we can then bend this part over to roll the edge, to have a nice rolled edge, which is also a bit more reinforced for the front top of the bag. And at the same time, we're gonna use this folded edge to cover up the backside of the magnet snaps that we want to use as an extra closure mechanism for the bag. So we skive this line, we install the magnets, and then we fold it over so that the magnets are looking to the inside of the bag, while at the same time hiding the backside of the magnet snaps, and at the same time making a nice and folded and good looking edge at the front of the bag. Okay, we have our rolled or folded edge with our magnets here. Now we're just gonna start punching out all of the holes on the rivet holes or the stitching holes and so on. One quick thing which helps for the lid and the closure strap. In my opinion, it's the best to make the holes for the rivets, install the rivets and glue the closure strap onto the lid, and then punch out these center holes here along the closure strap. The holes on the closure strap are already punched, but since we use the same holes exactly on the closure strap and on the lid, they will line up perfectly. Now if you use the holes from the pattern, this is not an issue, everything is already lined up. But if you do it like I'm doing it now, with the different hole punches and so on, I think this is the best way to go, to punch the holes, glue it on, and use the holes as guides to mark the other holes. Same thing with the pocket here on the back. I marked where the pocket is going to go on the back, but I'm gonna make the holes into the pocket, gonna lay it on here, maybe even glue it on, and mark the holes exactly, following the holes in the pocket as a guide. Okay, one more tip for the back side of the bag. As you see now, I have already punched the holes for the pocket, but here for the top, I wanna use a little trick in order to line the holes up exactly with the holes that I made here on the lid. So what I'm just gonna do is I will use a couple of rivets to help me line up the two pieces in the holes I made in both pieces. I just lay it like that and thread the two rivets through. Now the two pieces are lined up as they must be for the finished build, and now I can just use the existing holes, my hole punch, to punch the holes in exactly the right position. Alright, all of the holes have been punched in every piece. Now the next step, of course, is to start just beveling all the edges, so we can then slowly start the assembly process. Okay, all the edges are beveled and slicked. Now the next step is to install the zipper into the outside pocket. The way we do this is I've already cut the zipper to the correct length, and I broke off the teeth on the two sides. And I also already scored the mark around the hole. Now I'm just gonna apply a little bit of glue to the zipper and to the leather. Gonna glue it in and then punch stitching holes and stitch it in. Okay, my next step is to install the closer strap. I will use the same trick I just used, almost the same, to line up the two pieces. I'm gonna use one of the rivets for the hole here. Just thread it through the strap, through. I already lined up the stitching holes here, so I know these are correct. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna punch the hole here at the end. Now, I have the strap pinned down on the two edges. Now I can use just a little bit of glue to tuck it into place, so I can then punch all the stitching holes. Okay, now we have the closer strap stitched to the lid. It's right now on the laser engraver buckler, getting my logo engraved into it. Now the next step can be a little bit fiddly. We want to stitch the outside pocket to the back of the bag, and at the same time stitch the inside pocket using the same holes to the inside of the bag. You will notice that the inside pocket is a little bit wider than the holes marked on the back. That's because we want the pocket to make an opening like that, so that's why this is slightly trapezoidal. Now what you want to do is probably use a couple of spare needles in order to line up the holes, at least down here in the corners, which are pretty important, and if these are lined up, the rest should be pretty easy to stitch. So yeah, let's just try to do that now. Note how I just kept stitching here around, stitching this pocket fully on while securing the inside pocket, and stitching over here and here at the other end. I will just again start stitching into this pocket. Okay, now that we have our outside pocket with the zipper, the inside pocket and the lid ready from before with our hook here, it's time to combine these two items while also installing the top D-ring with its loop where the shoulder straps are going to be attached, and also installing the magnet snaps, the other two halves, while also installing the top handle. So we got a lot of installing to do right now. First of all, we're going to start with the magnets. These of course have to come from the inside. I've already cut the slits, so these should just go right through here. Alright, we now have our magnets installed on the inside. The next step is to get this little tab here with the D-ring and thread it through here together with a closer strap. Okay, just like this. And I'll get 2 of our rivets and install them from the back side. Or actually, we want the flat, the beautiful side on the outside, so we're gonna insert them from the side of the lid. 1 and 2. And now we just need to line up all of the holes we made earlier in the tabs and in the closer strap. Can be a little bit fiddly, but everything should line up quite nicely. Alright, we have our rivets, and now just through the final piece. Like this. Now we just cut off the excess from the rivets and hammer them flat, but I'm gonna do that on my anvil, so be back. Alright, now we have the lid and the back of the bag stitched together. And I think before installing the top handle, it's easier to stitch together the main body of the bag, the big piece here, together with these 2 pieces. And after that we can install the top handle and the 2 D-rings, which are gonna hook onto the bottom of the shoulder straps. Okay, we have now the main body, the bag and the lid all combined. Now it's time to install the top handle and the 2 loops with the D-rings at the bottom of the bag. One more little step that is optional, but if you wanna install the key hook that I include in the pattern, which is just a little tab with a key hook, I'm using the two rivets here at one side of the two carry handles to just add that on top of the rivets and install them together. Alright, now 3 things remain before we start stitching the sides onto the bag and finishing it basically. So one is to install one more D-ring, which is gonna act as the main closure here at the front of the bag. The other two are to install a couple of snap buttons here to the sides of the bag, which will allow us to fold it in two and help with the closing of the bag if you want to close it really tightly. The last thing is to wax the leather, which will help with protecting it from the elements and also get rid of most of these scuffs and scratches which just happen when you work with the leather while you make something. Okay guys, it's finally time to stitch on the sides and make a bag out of this flat and long thing. What I usually like to do is start at the front of the bag and install the first rivet, and then I just start stitching around and install the last rivet at the end. main body of the bag ready. And of course, we had our straps all beveled and so on, but we still need to install the hooks. One hook at the top of the shoulder strap, and at the base of the shoulder strap we need to install this roller square, the extra metal square for holding the strap, and a hook on the other end to hook on the bottom of the bag. Right guys, we have a finished backpack. Straps, pocket with zipper in the back, our hook here in the front, the snap buttons on the sides which allow us to snap the bag closed like this, and when we snap the sides together, the magnets that we put here and here also very easily snap together and close the bag up real good. With the strap over that, I wouldn't be afraid of losing anything. The only thing that I will adjust in the pattern, which didn't quite work out because this is literally the prototype, the first one I made from this design, is the closure D-ring here. Could be a few centimeters lower. I will have fixed that in the pattern. If you decide to purchase this, if you purchase it, you don't have to worry about it. This will be fixed. And yeah, also bottle pocket, which is optional. I possibly wouldn't use it on my personal backpack because I really like the clean design. But I mean, it's practical. It fits like this really big 1.5 liter water bottle easy. So I guess it is kind of practical since I drink a lot of water. The straps are removable and adjustable, top and bottom removable. We have also our one pocket on the inside, and we have this here at the corner, the key hook, which is for hanging your key or a little pouch or something or whatever you wanna hang there. Which is, of course, again, optional if you don't want to use it. So yeah, that's it guys. I really enjoyed this build. I'm quite happy with the result. I hope that if you made your own just now, that it turned out well and that you enjoyed the process. If you just made one, please consider posting pictures of it on the Facebook group of other Sparrow creators or makers. On the LEATHERCRAFT makers group on Facebook, there will be a link down below. If you like the video, like it. If you want to see more projects like that, consider subscribing, maybe even turning on the post notifications. And yeah, I guess that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I know it took a while. But yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.